What's going on, everyone? It's Darkstrider, and today I have a treat for you. I have 3 Donkey Kong games. That's right, Donkey Kong spawned 2 other sequels for the original Nintendo Entertainment System. So, we'll start off with the first Donkey Kong, which basically was similar to the arcade. Now, there are some differences. This Donkey Kong only had 3 levels, which was pretty wild. It had this level, it had the next level, which was also kind of a building style level, and then the third level was actually a level with locks that you would have to break the locks and Donkey Kong would fall, and we'll get to that as we go along. So basically all you have to do here is pretty simple. You're dodging the barrels, you're grabbing the hammers to kind of swat at those barrels, and then you're avoiding those oil fire slicks or whatever they are, those fireballs there. This level, a little more difficult because of the jumping springs. Now, what I talk about when I say differences, in some versions of Donkey Kong, like the Commodore 64, there is a level, it's the Pie Factory. And you're running around this pie factory, there are pies you have to jump over, you have to avoid them, and you have to get directly to Donkey Kong, or at least to Pauline. So Pauline was his girlfriend at the time. There was a Donkey Kong cartoon that had her as the niece, or his cousin, something like that. Kind of weird. Anyway, yeah, what you're seeing is the strategy to get through this, and we'll go through another loop and I'll talk strategy with you. Yeah, back in the 80s there was a cartoon based on this. Here's the third, and what we're going to do is we're going to jump over these little yellow locks and unlock the girders. Once you get it all done, the entire thing falls down and you finally win. You finally have Pauline. So here we go, we'll take this one over here. And bonus items are like her parasols, her purse. You'll find those laying all around. You can grab those if you want for the extra points or not. The whole point of the game was to get the highest score. There really was no ending to this, so it's a continual loop over and over again. So as it looped, as you got through the levels, this would be considered the second level, and or round, if you will. And now everything will be faster, everything will be quicker, there'll be more barrels coming, the patterns will be different. As you can see, you want to be really careful when you get close to a ladder, because they'll slide down the ladders as well. He also throws them that go zigzag, but still it's pretty straightforward. And as I said that, he was throwing a zigzag one. So this level is a little more difficult. You do not want to jump onto those elevators too high. You want to take your time with these springs, let it fall before you go and jump across. There we go. Now, when we get to this part, you're going to climb only till you see his butt. Then you're going to move. You're going to keep moving. You can stand in this area safely until you feel confident enough to go and get to that point there, that ladder. What happens there is that it moves really quick after the second round, or when you do the second loop. And then in this one, what you want to do, you want to really pay attention to those fireballs. More will spawn little by little, I think 4 at max. And what you really want to do is just really watch where you're going, where you're jumping, how you're doing this. You don't want to back yourself into a corner where you can't get out of, or you have to jump back and jump on one of those things. But there you go. It's very simple. And then you just keep doing this until you're tired or until you have the highest score or whatever. They also had a cartridge called Donkey Kong Classics, which had both Donkey Kong and Donkey Kong Jr. on it. Now, Donkey Kong Jr. was a little bit tougher. In this one, Mario is obviously the villain, and Junior is trying to save him. So, Donkey Kong is obviously in the cage. Mario has these snap traps going around. You want to just make sure that you're carefully timing your jumps when you're going between those little islands. If you want to climb up quick, what you want to do is grab 2 vines. You'll climb quickly. If you want to go down a vine quickly, you grab just the 1 vine and you'll go down quickly. So here we go. We're going to go up. Going to make sure we jump over this thing. There we go. And we got that key, and you were able to free him. So now the second level, this one is a little more difficult. You have that spring, you got to time it so that you don't do what I just did. I have really fond memories of Donkey Kong Jr. I actually had a handheld LCD, the old school Game & Watch of Donkey Kong Jr., and it was pretty wild. There were 2 versions. There was one where it was just the 1 screen, like the current Game & Watches that they've made for Zelda and Mario, and then they had the dual screen where the level was much longer and you had to go up to the second screen and you would continue your adventure. It was pretty wild. Now this one had a couple of more levels than the Donkey Kong game itself. I am not familiar with the arcade too much or any other versions. I think that this has all of the levels here. So we have the level that we were at previously. We have this level here. And then there's going to be like an electric level. And then finally there's going to be a level where there's a bunch of chains and you're going to use the keys to unlock Mario. And again, we're going to loop through this again. And we'll talk strategy as far as like what you're doing for each level. Here's the electric level. This one is pretty wild. Mario will keep dropping the diamond-shaped electric sparks occasionally, and those circular electric sparks will just stay in place. They'll just go around in that same pattern where they're going in a circle. But the diamond-shaped sparks, what they're going to do is they're going to get to a certain point and fall. Until they get all the way to the end or until they just fall off the map. So here we go. We've got him again. And then this is the final stage. Now this one, you want to like really work at getting up there as quickly as possible with the key. Score some extra points. Now, the point system, you really do want to like get extra points or as many points as possible because you really do want to have a bunch of extra lives, especially on the later rounds. Right now, as you can see, over in the upper right-hand corner, it says bonus, and then L would be the level. That would be like how many rounds we've gone. You know, so this is the first round already. This is the 4th level. And then you've got J, which is Junior. You've got 2 of them. And there we go. And poor Mario is dead. This guy can't catch a break. He is the villain of this one, though. So, here's the strategy. Like I said, you want to make sure that you've got 2 hands. You're grabbing 2 vines when you're climbing up fast. You want to climb down fast, you just go to 1 vine and you'll go down quickly. You want to be careful for these snap traps, pay attention to them, pay attention to their pattern, so that way you can get through this without any issue. So there we go. It's actually the simplest level. The second level is where it really gets annoying, and like I always die for some reason right here on the first spring. Or on the first little island there. It's absolutely crazy. If you're really good, you can time it so that you can jump from the spring onto that floating island right there that I almost touched there. So now we're going to get to this other little floating island. We're going to get across. We're going to use 2 hands, climb up quick, and then we're going to wait here because one of these birds drops a turd. There we go. So we want to avoid that one. Get over there. Don't rush it if you don't have to. You're not on a timer here. So here we go. And we will grab this. Grab the 2 chains, get up. And what you want to do is you can just drop this fruit on these creatures, on these birds. You actually get points for dropping the fruit itself. And then you also get a couple extra points if it hits something. So here we go. We're going to go across. Now we're going to be careful. Jump up there to avoid that bird, and then we got over to where Mario was. never see him, like, you know, move or anything like that. Same with the Donkey Kong one. We never see him climb the ladder. He usually takes Pauline and just climbs. So here we go. Going this way. This is actually kind of bold of me because what I should have done was just not rushed, but there we go. You get points for jumping over these things clearly. You really want to avoid those diamond-shaped guys there, and you also want to avoid the circle of sparks that are circling around the entire thing. There we go. Don't get too crazy. And like I said with the last round, that's how you want to do it. You want to like avoid all those sparks. This one's a little more difficult. What you want to do is you want to get these keys up as quickly as possible, but you want to avoid these birds. The first round they have 2, the second one they have 3, and then, you know, they have more and more, and they're faster and faster. They don't do anything like drop anything or anything to that effect, but they are really, really annoying. They are fast. They do get quicker. And here's a situation where we've got the 2 snap traps on the last key, so we're going to have to kind of like follow them up with it, but avoid these birds, as you saw. And not draw the snap trap's attention. So here we go. We catch our dad, and Mario falls to his doom. And then there's Donkey Kong 3. This one was little less known. It's kind of wild. You are Stanley the Bugman. No, it's not because Mario died, because obviously he went on several other adventures. But Stanley the Bugman is being annoyed by Donkey Kong somehow. Donkey Kong has gotten into this little biome or whatever, and he's swatting these beehives or these bug nests and allowing bugs to get out. So you can shoot the bugs, and the whole goal is you have to use your bug spray basically to kind of shoot Donkey Kong in the patootie and have him go all the way up. Now that power up that he dropped, obviously, as you can see, it gives me a little more power to my my bug zapper there. And I have a perfect score because I saved all those plants that were on the ground. So now we're just going to keep hitting them with this. We're going to get them right up there. And that's the end of the level. So now we'll go to like the next round. Now each round, this one is different from the last one, the last 2 games, because rather than have just, you know, these 2 rounds over and over again, he's going to keep doing the same sort of, he's going to do the rounds similarly, but he's going to add an extra round here and there, which makes it like a little more difficult. And then there's going to be like brand new bugs that come out, like that bug you saw that just shot out at me. This game I never really played a lot, so like I didn't really learn a lot of the patterns and the strategy, but it's more of like a shooter than it is kind of like a platformer like the first 2 games were. So this was kind of like outside the box to keep the whole Donkey Kong thing alive. It was like really weird. I never even understood this, like why we have this other guy trying to get Donkey Kong. And they never made a cartoon about this. They made a cartoon about Donkey Kong Jr. and Donkey Kong himself. There we go. So now he goes up to the final level after we get our score here. And there it is. Here's the final level. And it just keeps looping like that over and over and over again. It's pretty wild. Again, these games were not designed to have, you know, some kind of like ending or anything like that. These were arcade games originally, and the arcades were all about just continuous loops and gaining more and more score. Like you had the highest score if your name was at the top of the leaderboard. You were the man. You were the guy who definitely had the highest score. Your name was at the top of the board, and you know, you were just king of the pizzeria. So that's how it was back in the 80s playing these games. And then of course when the original Nintendo came out, it was all about having the arcade feel at home. So a lot of the earlier games were very much like the arcade games. But anyway, that's all there is for this. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe. It helps this channel out an awful lot. As always, I want to thank each and every one of you for watching. Until next time, take care.